appropriate that we remember them because they were part of our family. Dr. Mohammed El-Gardani, Mo, Julianne Ruelas, I went to high school with, Dr. Catherine Coyle Thompson, Lloyd Mahaney, and of course Dr. Taylor. So let's take a few seconds just to remember them. Okay, we have the addition of some full-time faculty to our family as well. And are they here this evening? I know they were all here in the morning, but I'll just read out their names so you know who they are. For sociology, Jill Biondo. For chemistry, Dane Gojoyan. Biology, Par Mohammedan. And let me see, there were some more. I can't remember who they are. There's one more, Daniel for geography. So, and I can't remember his last name. I think I'm missing my last sheet. So I'd like to welcome all of them. And also, I see that there are a number of new adjuncts in the room. Would you like to stand up? Come on, don't be shy. Just one. Okay. Tim, would you like to introduce yourself? Tim Welch, English department. Welcome, Tim. And nobody else, that's it. Well, I guess we're not doing too much hiring. That's when it comes down to all the cuts. I'd like to introduce our Guild e-board, and again, some are here this evening, and they're all here this morning. But for our LAFC Guild delegates, we have Maria Fenas, Wilda Silva, Jeannie Casara, she's here, Margie Long, and our alternate delegates, Kelly Enos and Gloria Danes. Our adjunct reps, once again, Jeannie Casara, and Tim, there he is, Gilmore, stand up, Tim. Okay. And I have the pleasure of introducing to you also our new LAMC grievance rep, Monica Moreno. Here she is. Your new friend, your new best friend. Hopefully not. I'd also like to take a second to introduce Suzanne Mignosi, who's at the back of the room there. Stand up, Suzanne. She's the chapter president for our classified staff. So welcome. And we're working very well with her. We began that project already. This has been a very intense summer, and your guild reps have hit the pavement running. At the beginning of the summer, we were part of the County Labor Federation rally and campaign training that took place at Trade Tech. There were hundreds of trade unions, all different types were present, and about 1,000 participants. Last week, Monica Moreno, Suzanne Mignosi, and myself attended the UCLA Leadership Institute, which was all week long, and it was sponsored by the California Federation of Teachers. Let me see, a couple of things. In addition, we've been busy on campus tending to affairs and concerns of our faculty members. So it's been a very, very busy summer. In fact, many of you I've spoken to personally over the last few weeks. And, okay. I'd like to talk a little bit about the budget situation, and it's not a very happy situation, but it's something that we need to talk about. And right now, the budget is very grim for public education, and specifically for community colleges. We have already experienced numerous cuts to class sections over the past few years, and these have been pretty much off the backs of our adjuncts. We have experienced the long lines of students at the beginning of the semester, and we have all heard their personal stories of how they need to take our classes to make their dreams of transfer and a career come true. And those stories usually hit us in the gut because we really do care about our students, and we feel bad when we're not able to serve them properly. Those students are our children, our neighbors, and the people in our communities. Their plight hits us all on a personal level. Of course, I cannot tell you how to vote come November, but you need to know some very important facts. You may be aware that our district has been in the process of developing a contingency plan in the case that we do not receive the additional revenue which will be generated by Proposition 30. And here are some facts. Please listen carefully. If LACCD does not receive the projected money, you can count on the following. LACCD will be cut $31 million mid-year and face future cuts for years to come. This cut translates into a $3 to $4 million cut per school for college and about 600 to 700 classes cut per campus. Thousands of students obviously will be denied access. Hundreds of faculty will lose their jobs, mostly adjuncts. But full-timers don't sit back and don't feel that you're going to get through this unscathed, because the district will ask for a reopening of the negotiation of our contract. And this is a fact. We were at our district retreat yesterday for the Guild, and if that proposition is not approved, those contracts get reopened. And they're talking about salary reductions from 3 to 5%. They're talking about a progressive, depending on which category you're in. Adjuncts, they're talking about 1% up to the highest 5% for full-time. They're talking about furloughs, and there will also be the premature setting of our HRA account. And this is really great. Now we realize HRA account, many of us have not spent the money. You might want to think about going to the chiropractor really soon on a regular basis, because we have $9 million in that account of unspent money. So it's really, the district is looking at it very carefully. It's very attractive in these coming times. But please realize, and this our Guild President Joanne Wardell emphasized yesterday at our board meeting, that the Guild has put in suggestions for, well, actually the Chancellor gathered suggestions from the district budget committee and from the Guild and from other groups. Then he put together a proposal which went to the board yesterday. The proposal did not include many of the Guild's suggestions. And it's kind of scary, because you might be hearing about this proposal. If you do what Danny said and you read the minutes from yesterday, you'll probably, well, this is a forewarning, so it won't be that scary because you already know about it. But the fact is, there has been nothing decided up until this point, and you need to know that. It all hinges on Proposition 30. The discussion we had yesterday at the District Guild E-Board meeting was there's a good chance that the contract will be negotiated, reopened even before we know the results of Proposition 30, because we don't want to be hit without being prepared. Because when those cuts have to be made, they're going to be made, and it's going to be a swift sword. In short, the budget situation will be very bleak. If Proposition 30 passes, on the other hand, and this is a fact, we will receive in our district $5 million, which is earmarked only for the adding of 1,000 classes throughout the LACCD district. So there's a lot at stake at this November election. The other big proposition, which hangs heavy on us right now, is Proposition 32. We've all witnessed the anti-government employee sentiment which pervades our media. How many of you have ever listened to Ken and John on the way home from work, right? It gets you really upset probably, right? Because they say the most nasty things. We're all lazy, we have pensions, and how dare they have tenure, and it just goes on and on. There's a lot of this kind of hate-mongering. Last spring, I had the occasion to converse with community college instructors in the right-to-work states. And even though I had heard about their plight, it was only when I conversed with them that I realized how grave it actually is. Their contract is so limited that it can be written on a Post-it, and I'm not exaggerating. They have no guarantee of reemployment from semester to semester, regardless if they're faculty that are full-time or adjuncts. And because of this, some of them were telling me they couldn't even get mortgages for their homes, new instructors, because they have no job security. Right now with Proposition 32, the whole nation is watching California because we've always been a union state. So what happens here just opens the floodgates for the states like us that are union states. There's a movement and act to silence the voices of our unions. This is a 1-2 punch. Have no doubt about it. Proposition 32 is only the beginning. It'll be followed up with more legislation to eliminate unions and our right to negotiated contracts. Pensions, health plans, tenure, disability insurance, and the list goes on. And retired people won't be safe from any of this as well. Basically, what is at stake are the rights that workers have fought for and obtained over the last 150 years. I'm sure all of you in your family have stories of grandpas and grandmas. I know I do. You know, factory workers, the Danbury factory, the hat strike in New York, upstate New York. My grandfather was involved in that, where people were killed. They killed children. I mean, this was common practice when unions were being established in this country. And we take much of what we have for granted, but it was hard-earned and hard fought for. Yesterday at the Board of Trustees meeting, and this is another fact which I'm pleased to bring to you, the board passed a motion, and they say that they openly support Proposition 30, and they oppose Proposition 32. So our district has taken a stand on these political, items that are coming up in November. It's dismal. But I come here with a message of hope and also a call for action. The hope lies in the fact that the CFT, the California Federation of Teachers, is in high gear and has enacted a strategic plan for the upcoming elections, especially in relation to Prop 30. They have mobilized teachers across the state to get the word out on the upcoming propositions. Phone banks, personal contacts, flyers, and meetings have begun. And these efforts will continue until the elections are over. How many people have already gotten those calls?